What's going on, everybody? In this video we're going to look at some Bitcoin news, a couple of Bitcoin articles, and I'm going to give you a look at CleanSpark on the chart and a couple of channels that we're following. We have the potential to follow this descending channel that we've been following for a while, but we also have the potential to continue riding this ascending channel that has been keeping CleanSpark afloat and playing out as support. So we're going to look at all of that, look at this Bitcoin news. If you guys like these videos, consider hitting the like, subscribe, ringing the notification bell. Check out the links down below for some free stocks and cryptos, and let's get into it. So first off, some recent news that just came out yesterday as of this upload. $1.3 trillion Deutsche Bank to offer Bitcoin and crypto custody for institutions. And for the first time, this German banking giant will be able to hold a limited number of cryptos for its clients. And Paul Malley, the bank's global head of security services, says as that digital asset space is expected to encompass trillions of dollars in assets, it's bound to be seen as one of the priorities for investors and corporations alike. Our focus is not just on cryptocurrencies, but supporting our clients in the overall digital assets ecosystem. And according to this report, Deutsche Bank is proceeding cautiously and in line with the spirit and the letter of the regulations governing this asset class. Malley went on to further explain that our product design and the nature of custody for clients will make sure that there isn't the risk of contaminating the bank's other activities. So that's fantastic. We're seeing all these large companies, all these hedge fund managers and whatnot getting into Bitcoin, trying to offer their clients, their wealthiest clients, Bitcoin and other cryptos. And I also want to go over this price prediction. Bitquant says that Bitcoin's all-time highs await Bitcoin before April of 2024. That's right, before the halving, Bitquant is expecting Bitcoin to hit new highs, going over its previous peak that it saw back in 2021. And they also have a $250,000 target after the halving comes around. And I want to show you guys this chart, this trend that Bitcoin has been following since 2018. It's just been going on this steady ascending channel, and we're currently at the lower end of it. As we approach the halving, we're going to move towards the upside of this channel, which rests right around $225,000. Now let me know, guys, do you think Bitcoin is going to create new highs before the halving? We have a little over 200 days to go, and a lot can certainly change by then. We might see spot ETF approval, which could definitely see a lot of money pump into the space. But let me know, do you think Bitcoin will create new highs before the halving? And what's your target, your ultimate price target for the peak of the coming bull run? And I also want to show you guys this Bitcoin monthly return chart. This goes all the way back to 2013, and you can see that September typically turns out to be a rough month. But if you're patient and hold on, typically October and November turn out to be really good months for Bitcoin. And I personally do see by year end Bitcoin probably working towards $40,000, maybe as high as 50,000. By the time we get to the end of the year, we'll be roughly 100 days away from the halving. A lot can change by then. Now I want to mention CleanSpark and these two channels that I mentioned earlier. We have this descending channel that it looks like we are following, and we also have this ascending channel, which was previously resistance until it flipped and became strong support. We bounced off of it again back in September 11, bounced off of it as support, and I think it'll be crucially important to continue to maintain this ascending channel. If this breaks, I think it's very likely that we're going to come down and test the 200 MA, which is sitting right around 380 or so. And I want to pull up the EMAs as well, and you'll see that we found resistance on the green line here, but they are still in a bullish order with the 50 above the 100 and the 100 above the 200. They have not flipped bearish yet. And looking back at the moving averages, the 50 and 200 moving average, they saw a golden cross way back here in May of 2023, and CleanSpark for the most part has been trending upwards since. After it peaked out right around 750, it has started to pull back, created this descending channel, and now we're looking at the 50 MA starting to curl downwards. However, the 200 MA is still pointing upwards, and they are in a bullish order with the 50 above the 200. And that's another reason I think it's very important that we follow this ascending trend line, this blue line here. If we can continue slowly pushing upwards and bouncing off of it, we won't see this 50 continue coming down, and we won't see this 200 start to curl downwards. If we do break this trend, it's very likely we can start seeing these moving averages and EMAs start curling downwards, which isn't a good sign. But right now I'd say things are looking good as long as we continue to maintain this ascending support. But let me know your price targets for Bitcoin by end of year, before halving, and at the peak of the halving. I think at the end of this year it's very possible to see somewhere around $40,000 Bitcoin in anticipation of the halving. When we get to the halving, I'm uncertain if we will see new highs by then, but I'm very certain that after the halving we will see new highs and then some. But I do believe that Bitcoin will hit six figures at some point by 2025. I do think it'll take quite a while to get there, but in the meantime, as Bitcoin starts working its way back up, these miners will see increasing revenue, and by the halving, Bitcoin will likely be double in price, meaning the block rewards being cut in half won't negatively affect these miners as much as long as Bitcoin's price doubles. Because let's face it, for the halving, these Bitcoin miners are going to take half the amount of rewards. However, the typical thing that happens is you see Bitcoin double in price by then. But let me know what you think about Bitcoin and some price targets. Let me know what you think about CleanSpark, and keep in mind that the clock is ticking. We are getting closer and closer to the halving, and before you know it, we will be there. 200 and something days can definitely fly by before you know it. Thanks as always, guys, and take it easy.